Anyways, Grollm, welcome, dude. I am so glad that you decided to do this with me.
Oh, no problem, dude. No problem at all, man.
So I've got some basic interview questions, and we can either deviate from those. But one of the main focuses that I wanted to bring light to tonight is charities and how much Twitch does to bring charities around and enhance charities and bring as much recognition to charities as possible. And I know you have done quite a few, so I figured I would bring you on and you can share some of your experiences with setting up charities with us.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, what question do you guys have? Like, is there anything specific or?
So let's start with how long have you been streaming?
I have been streaming. I started streaming. My Twitch account's actually really old. I started back right when it had switched from JTV to Twitch. So I've been around a long time. I didn't really take it that seriously though at first. I kind of just did my thing, and I just like, I didn't really have a set schedule. I kind of just streamed whenever I wanted to stream. And I'd say I got serious about it. I'd say a little bit over a year ago.
Okay.
So.
And so since for as long as you've been streaming, how many charities have you participated in? Whether it's starting the charity yourself or just being a participant in it?
I think probably 4 or 5. I think
about 4 or 5. And out of all of those, how many have you personally organized with Panda Gaming?
Well, first. I want to give a shout out to Orca. Orca is actually he's actually the one that created the Panda Gaming team on Extra Life. So definitely give a big shout out to him. He's been integral in doing a lot of this stuff. I have organized, the last one was pretty much solely me. BTW, I'm a Strength. Thank you so much for the follow, man. Welcome to Embarrassment. That's a space member. He's been pretty integral in organizing that stuff. This last one was pretty much completely on me, and it was a little chaotic. There's a lot of moving parts, and especially with what we did, we actually did a 24 hour. No, I think it was a 72-hour stream. So it was 72 hours. So it was pretty intense. It was pretty. 1 second, I'm getting a logo in the background, so everyone's got something to look at. Probably turn this one off for now. Yeah. So there's a lot of moving parts, especially when you're trying to juggle multiple people's schedules, and also just trying to make sure things work out, make sure things don't fall through the cracks. You got different time zones. There's a lot of things that you have to kind of work around and work through to make everything work correctly. But as far as the actual setup goes, if you use Streamlabs OBS, the integration with Extra Life is really, really good. It's very simple. You just create a Extra Life account, and then you can, if you have a team, like we have a team, Panda Gaming team, you can join that team. You can also create your own team, or you can just stream individually. Whatever you decide you want to do.
Sure.
It's pretty easy to set up, and there's built-in integration with Streamlabs OBS, so you can actually get custom. Like if somebody does a charity donation, you can set like custom notifications. You can get like custom goals, things like that. It's pretty cool.
Sure.
The way the integration is.
Now with Extra Life, is that for just the specific? Is Extra Life a charity?
Yeah, so Extra Life is one of the major players in the charity for Twitch. Like, so their slogan is "Play games, heal kids," and so their whole thing is they're geared around children's hospitals.
Uh-huh.
So as far as I know, I think it's 100% of the proceeds go to the Children's Network, the Children's Health Network, or I think that's what it's called. Now, if you want, you can actually set it. If you have like a specific hospital you want to donate to, you can set your donations to go to that hospital. But otherwise, they just send it to the network, and then the network kind of appropriates the funds however they're needed.
Okay, very, very cool, very cool. I know there's a few websites out there that, or I should say, charity events that do similar stuff, and I know that some charities use a specific website. I wish I could remember the name of it. That helps out with tracking like the donations for shout outs and stuff like that. But that's very cool that you found a charity that is so integrated into the streaming community, that they have their own overlays for you, their own announcements, and everything is just streamlined straight into their charity, and they take care of it all.
Yeah, it makes it really, really easy to set up. It's very quick. There's actually a tab if you go into. I can actually show you guys if I can do a. Let me see if I can get a capture. Window capture. You don't have a slobs. I already have slobs. Okay, so 1 second. Let me open it. Gotta find it. Where is it? This overlay is becoming very, very cluttered. I need to start. I might need to make a whole new scene. I just kind of just keep adding shit to the same.
Because none of us do that here.
Yeah, right. That's not it. Fuck. Where is it? I don't know why it's not showing. Here, I can show you guys real quick. So you go. I'm gonna add a window capture. We're gonna add slobs. Okay. We want Streamlabs window capture. Title must match. Oh shit, that's all I want. 1 second. Properties. I want the actual Streamlabs OBS.
Sorry, thanks for taking care of the multi-twitches and the shout-outs and everything.
Oh, see, you guys don't see that, do you?
Chat, if you are
it just shows a blank.
Just getting here and you are a streamer, don't forget you have the ! SO and then your name, your Twitch name. You can use every 30 minutes tonight. Be sure to do that. All viewers, anybody in the channel, make sure you go to everybody's stream channel and get that and hit that follow button on any streamer's stream tonight. Would really appreciate it.
I can't find. It's a pain in the ass. When I did my YouTube tutorial, it was kind of a pain in the ass to get set up, to get the capture set up. But basically, all you do is you go to your dashboard in Streamlabs OBS, and then you go to your where's it at here? Go to your dashboard, and then it is in your where's that? Widgets. You go to your alert box, and then move it to the bottom layer. That's what I did. No restarts. It wasn't showing up for some reason. And then when you go across, you'll have your different tabs. There's actually an Extra Life donations tab built right in. So all you got to do is you just click enabled there, and then if you want to have a custom GIF, you can actually, they have something you can download from the website. So I'll do a test on mine so you guys can see it. So if somebody does an Extra Life donation, this is what it'll look like. It'll where's test at? Of course, when I'm trying to do it, it doesn't want to fucking show it. Where is it? Why is it? Oh, here we go. So like that's what. So that's what it looked like if somebody donated through Extra Life. Show that little pop up there, and there's different ones they have. There's ones that you can, like they have all their stuff is custom, so it's pretty cool.
That's very cool. So the next question is, so do you, when you do a charity stream, and you specifically are streaming, do you include all of your bits and subs and stuff like that into the donation as well? I know some streamers do, some streamers don't, and that'll kind of lead into the next question.
It depends. So what I'll typically do, one of the reasons I have it separated like that is just to make it so where I can't, there's no question about where the donation's going to. So like if somebody does donate directly to me off of my panels and my Twitch page, or I have a chatbot command that for donations. If somebody donates directly to me and it is during a time of a charity stream, I'll ask them if they meant the donation for me or they meant it for the charity, and if they meant it for the charity, then I'll make sure I transfer it over. The only problem is I try to I try to encourage people to go through the donation,
Sure.
because I get charged a fee. I mean, it's not much; it's like 25 cents or something. But I mean, but if it adds up, you get 10 donations. That's like it's like $3 or $4 that I'm paying out of pocket for
Right.
the transfers, which is fine. But I like because sometimes people come in and like Dairy Queen, for example. Dairy Queen came in. Actually, one of the first times he came to my stream, he came in during a charity stream, and he donated $50 to me, and then he donated $100 to the charity. And he let me know. He said, "Hey, this is for you. This is for the charity." So,
All right, that's very cool. So the next question I was going to kind of field off of that one is if you are doing a charity where you all subs and bits and everything going towards you, if that stuff you are putting into the donation. Do you generally make sure to keep like an allotted amount that you think may or may not come through saved, or do you wait until you get those payments through Twitch before putting in that allotted amount and just keep track of it?
The only problem with that is I've never done that, and I would suggest people don't do that, because you could probably do it for donations or for but the problem with subs is and with bits you're going to be taking a loss.
Sure.
So because the bits and sub is not a 1-to-1 payout. So
correct.
I don't know the exact the cost of what bits are, but I know like it's not a 1-to-1. So like you don't spend $1, you get 1 bit. It's like I think it's like $20 and you get like 2,500 bits or so, whatever the number is. But it ends up not being in your favor. It's going to be in Twitch's favor. And in something like a charity stream like this, you're gonna end up paying the cost, which is unless you want to just take those donations and then make your own donation you think is fair. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like that leaves too much up for speculation.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah, I think when one of the charities I did, I was doing all subs I got went to the charity, and then I ended up just doing and I warned people ahead of time, because some people don't know that you only get 50% of any sub that comes in, that I would be paying $2.50 for every sub that came in, and I would turn around and donate that.
Donate that. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely the way you can do it, for sure.
And thankfully, I got my Twitch check like the next day after that, so I didn't have to hold any back or anything.
Well, it's nice they changed it to net 15, and the affiliates used to get screwed with the net 45. That was,
oh my god, yeah, it was bad. Okay, so let me see. So what would you say the best way for a newish streamer who has never done charities before? What would you say the best way to kind of dip their toes into the charity streaming would be?
Honestly, probably go through Extra Life. It literally, there's the website is very, very well put together, and it kind of pretty much answers any questions you might have. You just like literally go there. I think they even have like a little tutorial video to tell you how to set everything up. It's really simple. They have like a media package. I would highly suggest to use Extra Life. Now, I mean, there definitely are other charity programs out there and things you can use, but I just like I said, for me, Extra Life has been relatively painless. Most of my frustrations are just stresses were just organizing people, nothing to do with the actual charity itself.
Right.
So
fair enough. Let's see.
Dairy Queen, thank you so much for that resub, dude.
Is there anything that you need to be really careful with when you are doing a charity stream? Like anything to look out for from either viewers or just like with the, I'd say this is probably a no because you go through Extra Life and everything is already set up and whatnot, but potentially other charity events that you might be doing.
I think there. I mean, there's a couple things. One, there is if somebody is not going through a third party, where like let's say they're donating the money to you directly, make sure you actually get that money before you donate it yourself because what some of these scumbags will do. I've never seen anyone do it for charity stream, but I've seen people do it just in general.
Sure.
They'll donate. They'll send a donation and then they'll recall the donation. And so, let's say like they do like a PayPal donation, they'll cancel the transaction with PayPal. So like if you're not paying attention to your PayPal account, someone gives you $100 donation, and you go and you donate $100 to the charity, thinking that you got the money, and in reality they canceled the transaction, and then now you're out $100.
Yep.
So that's one thing to be aware of too. Also, people will sometimes. I mean, it's pretty hard to get fooled by it, but some people do. Some newer streamers do get joked by it or uked by it. Is that people will do like there's like a command they can put into Twitch to make it look like they did a donation when they actually don't do a donation. It's pretty obvious to spot. It's what's up, Dairy Queen. Yeah, we started a little bit later, dude. Doing the interview right now. I keep on saying diabolic diet. Diabetic
Only
diet
on occasion.
Yeah, for the charity Q&A. But you know how it goes. People show up to my stream late, dude. Like that. Everyone shows up around 11:30, 12 o'clock. That's why I can never get any freaking sleep. But yeah. So that's one thing to be aware of. I mean, ideally, you want to try to filter. You want to try to like funnel people to whatever the charity is that it, and also too another thing is that you want to make sure the charity is actually legitimate too.
Oh, absolutely.
And for the most part, most of them are. But you want to one of the things you for is that you want to make sure that you want to see what portion of the proceeds actually go to the charity. So some of these big charities actually it's not even like 10%. Like I think. Red Cross Red Shield or Red Cross, whatever. It's like the one of the major charities.
Right.
They only donate like 10% or like 5% of donations actually go to the charity. The rest of them go to pay their staff and their payroll, which is kind of shitty.
Right.
So that's one of the things, and you can find that out by actually they're regulated, so they have to state how much of a percentage goes to the actual charity, and you just got to do a little bit of research to make sure that you're, picking a charity that's, that's legitimate and it's not gonna, you're not just, padding the pockets of some fat cat,
Exactly. So out of all of your charity events, is there any one that like really sticks out in your mind as being really memorable to you?
No, I mean, they've all been really like just been great. It's just crazy how many people come together to donate and help for a good cause. I mean, I think out of the 3 events we've done, we've raised close to $5,000. I think we did the first one. We were just short of $2,500. The second charity I think we're at like around 2,000 or so. And then this last one we were just under 2K. So yeah, I mean close to a little over $5,000 we raised over the course of the 3 charities. So
that's
awesome.
I mean,
that was multiple streamers.
Right.
Also too, I'm gonna give him a shout out. There's a guy Colmer. He joined Panda Gaming. He is if those of you guys have been to my channel, you know that I'm a Dark Souls challenge runner. He's a challenge runner as well. But the cool thing about Colmer is that he actually 100% of, and this is something he does personally, 100% of his stream goes to charity. So he doesn't keep any of the money himself. Every single penny he gets from Twitch, he donates to. I don't know what charity it is. I'm sure it's probably somewhere on his page. but everything he gets, he sends it to a charities, which I think was cool. He actually helped us out a lot. He raised quite a bit of money for this past charity that we did.
Very cool.
So.
And that actually answered one of my next questions, was how much do you think you and Panda Gaming has made? You said about 5,000?
Yeah, about 5,000 over the course of 3 events.
That's awesome. And then, is there anything in particular that inspired you to do charity work for your streams and everything?
What's up, Shank? I mean, not really. Like, nothing really inspired me, and kind of just felt like, do something good. I have a daughter, and I can't even imagine, her having like one of these terminal illnesses. I can't even imagine what that's like as a parent to have a kid that's sick like that. So, I just thought, if it was in my shoe, if I was, in their shoes, I feel like it'd be something nice to do.
Definitely. That's basically same reason I do mine. Or I have done charities, I should say. It's just things that I've been passionate about, or I am a very sickly person, regardless of not looking like I am. I've been through a lot of stuff, so things that have either directly affected me in my life or people around me, I'm always very happy to help out with that however I can. But chat, now's the time. This can go for both chats, in fact. If anybody has specific questions about charities or just streaming in general that you want to ask, and get kind of two streamers' opinions and views on it, please put the questions out in chat right now. We'll try to field these. That's most of the questions I had on charities. I know there's a lot of charities on Twitch, a lot of big ones, some smaller ones, and then just like personal charities that people put out. So you definitely have to be careful donating to charities. Like Grollm said, make sure that they are legitimate and that money is going where that money should be going and not somebody's pocket. Chad, if you did not see on my screen, I always point the wrong way because my camera's flipped. Up in the corner over there is all of Grollm's info for Twitch and Twitter. If you are interested, make sure you go and follow him on Twitter and Twitch, definitely. We're currently taking applications for Panda Gaming, correct?
Yeah, It's I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's mostly by invitation. I mean, basically anybody can join as long as. I mean, we have the questions that come, but I mean, honestly, as long as you're not a complete shitbag, we're gonna let you into the community.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And usually the that make it into the doors usually don't last very long. They usually leave on their own.
So chat, Grollm is the founder of Panda Gaming, a streamer community, and we're going to dive into streamer communities in our next streamer viewer appreciation night. But if you have specific questions right now regarding streamer communities, please ask him now. Get Grollm's point of view. I'm going to try to get him back on next month as well to deal with this topic, as well as another person that both Grollm and I know that runs another streamer community, and that way we can get a very nice wide spectrum and get lots and lots of answers for you guys. Nothing Shank, how's it going? Welcome.
Dairy Queen had a question. He said, "Why did we start streaming?" So for me, Dairy Queen, the reason why I started streaming, well, initially I started streaming because I just wanted to see what it was about. But when I decided to get serious about it was honestly I wasn't happy with my job, my current job I was doing, and the way I looked at it is like I'm gonna play video games anyways. Let's see what I can do with it. So and so far it's been a journey, man. I mean, it's just now over the course of like the last probably 3 or 4 months where I've actually started to turn a relatively good profit. You know, not I mean good by perspective. I mean, not you know I'm no longer losing money. I'll say that. Like, you know, it's not. I mean, the amount of hours. I mean, unless you're just raking in the money, like, you know, you're sitting at 1,000 subs, and, you know, you're getting regular donations and bit donations. Um, you know, you're not going to be the hours you put in, you know, either on stream or off stream is not going to be even close to what you get out of it. You know, but yeah, that's the whole reason why I started streaming. I wasn't very happy with my daytime. Hopefully at some point maybe I'll be able to do this full time. But you know, unfortunately, in order to be full time on Twitch, you got to be really cooking with the subs. I did the math for me personally for my budget bottom line. I would need to have around 1,300 subs in order for me to go full time, not have to work my daytime job, which is I'm pretty far off that. So, but yeah, did you want to answer that question, Dino? Derek Queen asked why did you start streaming?
Oh yeah, definitely. I started streaming, kind of like what Grollm said. I have a decent job, but I'm quickly losing interest in it, and I end up sitting at my job and watching Twitch a lot during my weekday, and I am quickly realizing that if you're willing to put the work in, because don't think that streaming is just playing games. There's a lot of work put into streaming if you want a good-looking stream and a community backing you up. It's a lot of time that takes you away from your family, your work, and other stuff as well. But I looked at all of that, and I knew that I had always wanted to try out streaming. I made affiliate fairly quick, and really just enjoyed the people that would stop in and talk. Made some really great friendships. Holy cow, Dairy Queen with the giant sub bomb. Thank you so much for that. Gifting 8 tier 1 subs. Let me get this out of the way real quick. We got subs to Nothing Shank, Miss Nova, Sorry, Slicko, Taisk Ente. I apologize if I just butchered your name. Fifth Freaky, By the Way, I'm Skrank, and Spectre. Thank you again so much for that, Dairy Queen. That is very, very kind of you. Chat, make sure sub hype goes and reigns through the channel, please. Show some love. But I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something with video games because, by God, do I love video games. I know I'm not the greatest, but I know I'm pretty decent at the games I do play. And I just really loved meeting new people, talking with them, finding out their stories, and just forming new friendships. It's so great that most of the a lot of the people I group with these days are people I've never met face to face, just purely virtual, and it's like we are good friends, best friends in real life. I care about them. If I don't hear from somebody in a week or two, I always make sure I drop them a line in Discord and say, hey, how's it going? Everything okay? Because I truly am worried that maybe depression hit, or who knows what hits, because you never know. And the only way to really keep up with that is to constantly keep track of who's in your stream, who's in your channel, and if they suddenly disappear, finding out what's going on and do they need help. But also, like I said, charities. Guardian Con was one of the first major charities I watched, and I was just enamored by the amount of enthusiasm people had in their streams and the amount of just crazy donations going through, and just all of the money that was being raised for St. Jude's. And that was something that I looked at before I started streaming, and I said, I want to do that one day. I want to be part of GuardianCon one day. I want to do charities in my stream, and I want to be able to help people. It's grown since that, and it's no longer I want to do GuardianCon. It's that I really want to make sure that I am good in my stream, that I can tell my wife and my kids, hey, I know this isn't on my normal stream day, but there's a charity going on, and I really want to help out and be able to volunteer for those whenever I can. So that's basically why I started streaming, and it's a big mix of things. Like Grollm, I would love it if I became a quote unquote pro streamer one day, but it's nothing that I'm like that is achievable for me in the immediate future. It's something that I will continue to work on. I will continue to set goals, and I will continue to try to chip away at it until maybe one day I get that nice little check mark next to my name, and I know that I got it from all the hard work I did, and not the view botting and all the other miscellaneous stuff in Twitch right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of that goes on. It's very, it's unfortunate, very unfortunate.
It really is.
Yeah, people just, but at the end of the day, man, people system. That's if there's gonna be a shortcut, someone's gonna try to find their way around it. And what are you gonna do though? It's like I know I'll never bring myself to do that. So. It's just you gotta just the people that do those things. It's they gotta live with the like I see these people who make partner off of these these lurker systems, and I'm like, how can you live with yourself? How can you know that you got partner from you basically cheated?
Oh, absolutely. Not only that, but once they get partner, are they making money? Sure. I mean, I guess they can if they run commercials every 15 minutes in their channel and get some revenue off of that. But it's not like doing that kind of streaming behavior is getting you any subs or long-time revenue. It's exactly. Giving you a few extra options that are not going to be sustainable in any way or form. So yeah, sure, you're getting the check mark maybe, although I am pretty confident that Twitch has been keeping an eye on a lot of these quote unquote legal view botting stuff that's been going on, and making those people apply 2 to 3 times and watching their channels very, very closely. But I mean, it's just not sustainable. It's not a good way to build a channel. You don't build a community that way. You get a few people who come in because of the numbers, and if you're talking and the stream isn't alive and popping and lots of conversations going on, you're probably not going to keep those people.
Exactly. Well, and also too, the thing is too is that it's so bad for everyone, and people the people that aren't really into Twitch, or that aren't really integrated in the community, they don't really understand what the issue is with why people like us have such a frustration with these types of things. But the thing is, what they don't realize is that it affects everybody. You know what I mean? When you've got people lose the appreciation and respect for having 15-20 viewers. To them, 15-20 viewers, that's no big deal. But to sustain a 15 plus average over 30 days as a a midline streamer is actually pretty difficult. And it's I fluctuate. I mean, sometimes I'll have streams where I'll have 30, 40 people. Sometimes I'll have 5 people. And it's these people that are using these systems, where they're getting 100, 200, 300 viewers like that, they don't earn the respect in the work it takes to get to that point, you know?
Yeah, not at all. In fact, most people who do that, it's not like you're doing it secretly. Most people know when you go from 10 to 15 viewers one day into the 70, 80, over 100 viewers the next day, and that it's constantly happens. It's pretty obvious what you're doing, and
exactly.
You lose so much face value in that whatever community you're a part of, that I just don't see how any of it is worth it.
Yeah.
And Chad, you're going to see us be really, really passionate about this kind of stuff. We're not going to be interrupting each other, so I'm going to be typing out to you guys when you're talking to me, and that's how I'll be communicating with you. Just so you know.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing because people are asking questions in chat, and if you're talking, I'm just going to type. So, just what Dino said, I'm doing the same thing. So. But yeah, no, it's super frustrating, and it's one of those things where you know, like it's so obvious to the people that are the only people you're gonna fool are either newbies or people that aren't integrated into Twitch culture. Like, you know, if I go into someone's stream and I see 200 viewers and I see 3 people talking in chat, I'm like, okay, like it's very obvious this dude's either view botting or he's using one of these lurker systems, and it's kind of the point for me now. Where if I even see Twitch Royals on someone's panel, I won't go to the stream. I won't. I can't. It's just that community left such a bad taste in my mouth, and such just a bad feeling that I won't even like. I mean, you could be my best friend, and if you're in Royals, like I can't in good conscience support that system.
Oh, absolutely.
So. Anyways, does anybody else have any questions? If we're going to talk about Royal things, we're going to be here all night.
Yeah, no kidding. Chat, anybody have any questions for Grollm and I about anything about streaming? Anybody who's interested, has considered it, anything like that? Now is the time to ask questions and get a couple people's perspectives on this.
Here, doggo. Anybody? Viewer. Bad chats can ruin a channel. Shank. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's something too. You know, like, and I guess like for you, Dino, you seem like you're a little bit more of a wholesome streamer than I am. I've got the mature filter on my chat for a reason. So I guess for you, how do you communicate with your moderators, like the kind of view and the kind of I guess outlook you have on what kind of community you're trying to build? I mean, because for me, I mean, you got to say something that's like super racist or like super homophobic for me to be like, yeah, bro, like, you know, I'm gonna time you out. I mean, it's got to be like very, very off color for me to, you know, get upset or you know, take action. Like how do you instruct your moderators in your chat to kind of build the community that you envisioned when you're streaming?
Well, okay, so first of all, I definitely have the mature warning on my stream as well. For
I saw your face on your chat. I saw your face. Like, oh, well, maybe not.
For this event alone, is the only time where I try to curb the desire to excessively cuss occasionally, and purely because just in case I ever decide to throw these up on YouTube, you know, I would like it to gain some traction. And I know, you know, some people see or hear cussing and are just like, oh, well, forget that. I have no interest in watching this person. And go ahead.
No, I said definitely don't watch me play Magic then, because I don't know, for whatever reason when I play Magic, like it's the salt mode in games. Like, I'm like, F this, F that, screw you, F you.
I was watching your stream last night, and when League of Legends came up, that's where it turned to. It sounded like.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, no, I don't play League anymore, but Matt, because it was like I literally uninstalled League of Legends because I'm like, dude, this game is literally giving me anxiety. Like I'm having trouble sleeping because of this game. I can't play this anymore. Okay, no research on a question. Can you talk about branding, badges, emotes? It's something I need to do, and I don't know how or where to start. Okay, so that's a good question. No research. That is a very important thing, and I think a lot of streamers. So this is I actually ran a little kind of similar to what we're doing now. Once I came back from TwitchCon because TwitchCon last year, which I'm planning on going this year. Hopefully I can get enough money raised, and I'm in a good enough financial situation where I can go. I'm changing jobs now, so we're gonna see how it goes, if they're gonna be cool with me taking off. But anyways, back to your question. So basically, you have to kind of have an idea. So the main thing you want to establish as a streamer is you want to establish your streamer voice, and it's going to take time for you to find your voice. It's going to take time to find who you are as a streamer. And what I mean by that is that I think pretty much all of us that do this, relatively regularly or seriously, your streamer persona is different from your real life persona. It may be very similar. Like for me, my streaming personality is pretty much how I am in real life. It's just augmented. It's just amplified. So I might be a little bit more reactive, or I might be more maybe something made me mad, but normally if I was by myself I would just curse under my breath, but I'm on stream, I might make a show of it or whatever, kind of amplify it, just for the the comedic value, or for for whatever intended reaction that I'm trying to elicit from chat. As far as branding goes, what I would suggest, and don't do what I did, find an artist that you like. Do your research first of all. So it's okay to have. I was in such a rush to get stuff up that I just kind of grabbed everybody, and I was just like, hey, do this, do that, and it's gotten better, but my branding and my my emotes and everything was kind of all over the place because I had different artists doing everything. So what I would say is do your research, find somebody that you like that has the style that of emotes, of logos, of things like that you like, and then use that person for your entire channel. Or if you are if you're creative on your own and you can do it yourself, try to stick with the same style. Because it's going to save you a lot of money and headaches in the long run, because you're going to end up changing stuff over like I did. I think I've overhauled my channel probably 3 or 4 times. So, just basically kind of have an idea of what kind of streamer you want to be, and then kind of build around that. That's your starting block. So, for me, I'm primarily a challenge runner. That's mostly what I do. I mostly play challenging games. And then I, either no-hit runs or no-death runs or whatever that might be. And then I kind of structured my channel, my emotes, my badges, my channels around that. So hopefully that answers your question. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that. No research. Does that answer your question, or do you want Dino to chime in, or?
One thing I will say is if you need some options, especially starting out, Fiverr.com is a really good website. I highly recommend you always look at the reviews for the artists, and look at their work. They 9 out of 10 of the artists, if they are serious at all, will have portfolios lined up on Fiverr, and for you to browse through it, and you can see, is their style what you want in your channel, or is it not the right style? There's all kinds of people. It ranges in all kinds of prices, and you can get all kinds of services there, overlays. You can get anything you can dream of for your stream, you can get there. If you want to do it yourself, GIMP, GIMP. I know it's. I promise you, it's a perfectly legit website. I'm not fucking with you. It is a free Photoshop, basically, and you can do a lot of stuff with that. Or if you know any streamer communities, occasionally you have people inside those communities who do graphics as well, and they might be able to whip something up for you. Payment is totally up to the artists. Always pay your artists, I say. I've got lots of friends who are artists, and I wouldn't dream of asking them to do anything for me for free. So if you are not willing to pay the $25 or $30 for sub badges or anything like that, then watch some YouTube videos and learn to do it yourself. Because you should always pay for what you request.
Yeah, and also too on that note too, like make sure that if you're happy with the work, make sure you are tipping them well, especially if you're going to use them again. Because they will remember you and they will take care of you. There was a guy that actually there was a mistake that was made on one of my, and normally or it wasn't a mistake, but it was just a miscommunication. And normally he was like, hey, this isn't normally in my what I usually do for this service. But he was like, but because I tipped him well, he was just like, I'll just take care of it.
Right.
So.
So I do have a couple questions over here. I have one from Sorry, which is, what were the mistakes you made in the early times, things that you wish you could have done different? And then on top of that one, we have one from Slick, which is, what is your feelings if a streamer is not using a cam? Will you not watch it, or does it not matter?
So I'll answer the camera question. So as far as the cam goes, so here's the thing. To answer that question, a camera is not necessary. One of my favorite streamers that I've been subbed to for 11 months now, doesn't use a cam, and he's a partner, and he's Squilla Killer. I don't know if you guys know Squilla, but he's an amazing streamer. He's amazing Dark Souls player, awesome dude, super funny. So I don't think a camera is necessary. The problem with not having a camera, though, is you need to make sure your personality and your voice comes through verbally and audibly, and sometimes that's difficult to do. The camera helps with that aspect, especially if you're a newer streamer and you maybe haven't found your streamer voice yet. It's going to be harder for you to convey what you want to get out. If you don't have a camera, because a lot of stuff is lost with there's a lot of nonverbal communication, facial expressions, laughing, things like that. It's not necessary, but I would suggest for most newer streamers, I would suggest a camera. You can pick up a decent camera for pretty cheap. I would recommend it, but I don't think it's necessary. No.
I'm on the. Oh, go ahead. Well, let me hit the camera real quick before we move on to the other one. I like you. I agree 100%. It's not necessary. I do think that a camera becomes more necessary depending on the game you're streaming. If you're doing a horror game, people love to see you jump when something pops out at you. Or if you do, like Sorry BTR does story games. Life is Strange, The Walking Dead, stuff like that. When you make those tough decisions in those games that get somebody killed, it connects the viewers that much more to see the blood drain out of your face for having made that decision. And they realize that, oh my God, this is really affecting that person. And it adds that much more to your stream to have it. Looks are don't like if you're worried that you don't think you're an attractive person, or you're going to be made fun of, chances are at some point you're going to have a troll come into your channel regardless of if you have a camera or not, and they're going to troll you just to troll you. You really need to have a good backbone and be able to come up with something just instantly to knock that person down a ring or two. I've had a few people come in and just like, why the fuck are you playing this dead game? This is so stupid. You're dumb. And I'm like, dude, okay, first of all, this is my channel. And second of all, I enjoy this game, and everybody in this channel enjoys this game. I make money doing this. What do you do?
Exactly.
So, like, just be. I mean, it's up, ultimately, like we've been saying, it's up to you. The camera adds a lot. A lot of people. There was a poll asking that exact question, and it's generally the people who have a camera. It's easier for somebody to connect with that streamer and get engaged. But if they don't, it's not like a instant turn off to that viewer and they go somewhere else. You do, like Grollm said, though, need to have that personality. You need to have a good voice, and you can't be monotone, and you need to be able to show emotion and reaction and all of that stuff through your voice instead of your features on the camera. So that's what I would say to that. And then reiterating that second question is, what were the mistakes you made in the early times, things you wish you could have done different?
Just rushing things. Just, like not really doing my research on stuff, and kind of, I'm a very bad planner. My wife always gives me shit about it. I kind of just do. And I think with this, you kind of need to have a vision, and you kind of need to have an idea of where you're going to make things work the way you want them to work. If you just kind of jump into it, you're going to figure it out, but you're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way. And a lot of times those mistakes cost money, which is unfortunate because, in the beginning, you're not really making very much. So, just do the research. Like, find out. There's a ton of tools out there. There's a website called Twitch Strike, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, Dino, or the guys in chat, but okay, definitely check it out. It's Twitch Strike. I'll post the Twitch Strike. I'll post the URL in your chat. So basically, what it is it's an algorithm for Twitch, and what it does is it figures out a ratio. For whatever game, whatever thing you're doing, and it's based off the amount of channels that are available, the amount of viewers that the channel has, and then the percentage of the top channels that owns those viewers. So, and it generates a number based on all of those factors, and it gives you kind of an idea of a game that you may or may not want to play. If we're talking gaming streaming, obviously there's people who do IRL streaming. That's a whole other thing, but it gives you kind of an idea of what. Fuck off, Dairy Queen. of what you want to aim for and what you want to go for. So, like, you're like, hey, you know what, man? I really want to play. I don't know. I want to play Fortnite. That's the game I want to stream, right? Well, if you go on Fortnite right now, right? You're like, I can tell you I can guarantee the numbers. Whoa, probably like 1 or 2. Hold on, let me see your Fortnite.
Yep.
What is Fortnite at? 3. The ratio is 3. So, so to give you an idea, decent ratio. So the game. So Fortnite is a ratio of 3. Let's see, Dark Souls right now has a ratio of 10. There's actually a lot of channels live right now for Dark Souls, but like Sekiro's a ratio of 14. Dead by Daylight's a ratio of 42. Until Dawn's a ratio of 177. So it gives you an idea. If you're like, hey, I want to stream Fortnite, maybe if growth's your idea, maybe Fortnite's not the best game for you to stream.
Sure.
And so like kind of figuring out like what game you want to stream, what you want to do, and then the thing I've noticed, one of the mistakes that I made too was that I jumped around games a lot. I jumped, and the problem is as a beginning streamer, you need to kind of, your audience doesn't know what to expect from you yet. They don't know you're brand new, so you want to have a somewhat consistency. You want to be like, so what I do is I have a main game. I Souls or Soulsborne games, but I will occasionally stray from those. But for the most part, out of my 5 streaming days, three or 4 of those days I'm playing Dark Souls or Soulsborne game, and so my community has come to know that and figure that out. And you want to find that thing for yourself too, because what's going to happen is you're going to have those repeat viewers. And the ideal game you want to try to find is you want to try to find a game that has a fan base. It's relatively small fan base. Like you don't want these huge AAA games as a new streamer, because you're going to get lost. You're going to get like Fortnite, like Apex, like I don't know, another major game, Battlefield. You're, as a new streamer, you're sitting at 3 viewers. No one's gonna find you.
Yep.
So you want to try to find those games where there's maybe there's 10 channels on, and now someone's got a much better chance of finding you. And there's people who will literally watch, like there's a subreddit of people that only watch Witcher 3 streams. That's all they watch is Witcher 3 streams, and it's a group of like 300-400 people, and there's people like that that exist on Twitch. They only want to watch one game, and so if that's the game you choose as your main game, those people are going to come back. But as soon as you switch, they're going to be like, oh, they're going to see he's live. Oh, but he's not streaming the game I want to watch. I'm going to watch somebody else. So just kind of have the foresight to figure out what it is you want to do, and kind of plan things better, like kind of set things in motion. So like once you start getting traction, you start getting viewers, start getting subs and followers, you can kind of keep that momentum building. So
yeah, I didn't have too many experiences starting out that I regretted, but much like Grollm said, I think what can determine how quickly you grow and how quickly you find people is how crowded of a channel you are streaming in. Or a category you're streaming in. The battle royales, unless you are the next Shroud or Tim the Tatman or something like that, chances are you are going to be very, very slow finding growth in those channels. Now, that's not to say you won't find it, but you're not going to find it nearly as quickly as some of the other channels.
Exactly.
One thing that I did that I do regret is when Division was starting to die down and I started to look at playing other games that were a bit further out from Division. I lost a lot of I went from a monthly average of I think I was at about 16 monthly average, and I dropped down to 5, I believe, before I finally got it turned around and started building it back up. And that was a huge blow to me as a streamer, and thinking that I could make this a living and things like that. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't make sure you go and play a different game from time to time and make sure you keep your sanity. But I would highly recommend, if you are a new streamer, finding a game that might have a sequel coming out in the near future, such as like Borderlands 3 is coming out in September. Maybe start playing in the Borderlands and Borderlands 2 directories and start building up a following in there. That way when Borderlands 3 hits, yeah, it's going to be flooded like hell, but at least you will have those core members still in your stream, and that will potentially bring more people, even in a crowded directory, to your stream, especially if you are, again, really good at that game and can clear things quickly, explain what you're doing, how you're doing it, anything like that. If you're missing shots left and right, Radioactive, don't you dare say a fucking word. I know you got a smart ass comment to that about me, but as long as you're decent at the game, you should be able to find people coming in quite regularly to at least stop in, and then the rest is just your personality and if it catches that person's eye and attention, because you have about 5 seconds. Well, actually, you might have a little bit longer these days because everybody hates doing channel hopping because of that commercial at the very beginning of the stream. So you might have a little bit longer these days, but you still have a very narrow window to get that person's interest in your channel. So you need to be talking constantly, have conversations with yourself in the car when you're going to work, and keep doing that until it's not awkward to you anymore. I never talk to myself in real life. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying, what Shank said was that find a tight knit community, the host, and just have a schedule,
yes.
Which is that is the number one thing that new streamers mess up, is not having a consistent schedule. That is 100% the reason. If you don't have a consistent schedule, that's why. Like, doesn't matter the game you play. Like the analogy that I like to make is that if you have a you find this brand new TV show, you're like, oh man, I really like this show, right? You have no idea when the show is going to come back on. You don't. The show might go a week or two without it being on. You're going to lose interest. You're going to be like, all right, whatever, I don't want to watch a show anymore. And it's kind of the same thing with Twitch. If you are not on when you say you're going to be on, and we get it, life happens, things happen. Like, you have to make adjustments. Somebody gets sick, you get sick. But the main thing is you want to just make sure you're communicating with the community. Make sure you let them know by Twitter, let them know in Discord, hey guys, I'm off tonight. I'm not feeling well, or hey, I'm gonna be late tonight. Dairy Queen gives me shit all the time because he's like, oh, when are you not? But it's you want to try to have that communication with the community. Also to build on what Dino was saying about your streamer, kind of goes back to the whole streamer voice thing. So I think there's 3 types of streamers. This is something I've kind of come up with my own just from my observations with Twitch. So there is your gamer, right? So your gamer is somebody who is very, very skilled at the game they're playing. They're very good. They're, but they're maybe lacking in personality. Your primary archetype for this would be like Ninja, right? Ninja is amazing at Fortnite. His personality is the personality of a fucking wet paper bag. Like, the guy has no personality whatsoever. He gets his viewers because of how skilled he is in the game. Then you have your streamer types. Your streamers are your people who maybe don't really do streaming. Maybe they do like playing with marbles, or they do like golf with friends, or they do just chatting. Those are the people who kind of personality pitch, as we say in sales. They basically they know they don't have the gaming skills, and so they're relying heavily on their personality. And then your third type, and if you can be this, is the hybrid, the person who's kind of pretty good at the games they play, also has a great personality, and I think that's the best of both worlds, because that is where you're going to get the most exposure, because you're going to have people that are going to come there for your personality and for your gameplay. So like for me, like I'm a Soulsborne runner, and like a lot of you watch other Soulsborne characters or other Soulsborne runners, like they're a lot of them are very skilled, but a lot of them don't really have much of a personality, except with a couple that would be like Squilla and Donnie Wrecked and Quiddy. But for the most part, they're very monotone. They're just focused on the game, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's a different dynamic that you get, because you have people who are excited for you as your personality and as your gameplay, and your gameplay can get better from what is that? Off for. I don't even know what the hell that says. Thank you for the follow. I don't know how to read your name. Welcome to embarrassment. That's the space member, man. But yeah, and so you need to identify what archetype you fit into there, and then just fortify that. Like, so if you're the gamer type, then you know what? Maybe lay back on the jokes. Maybe just focus on your gameplay. Make your gameplay fucking like, you know, practice offline. Make it so where you're like you're nailing headshots. You know, you're nailing these speed runs. Like, you know, like really focus that. If you're the personality guy, you know what? Like, you know, maybe come up with some jokes on the side. You know, like all of this stuff you do offline is there's so many things. So people like, you know, because I, you know, from in the community, I get a lot of people ask me questions that say, oh, well, why am I not growing? Why is this? Why is that? There's tons of these little microtransactions you have with people that you need to, some people don't take advantage of. So like if somebody follows you, send the guy a message. Say, hey man, thanks for the follow. Hope to see you again. Somebody hosts you, you know, like maybe give them a shout out on Twitter. You know, like there's tons of things you can do to make people feel appreciated. And if you make somebody feel appreciated and you make them understand that you are excited for what they did for you, like they're gonna do it again because you know they like feeling that way too, and it's and that's how you build a solid community. You know also to hang out in people's channels too, like you know people say, oh well I'm not growing. Well, how often are you going to other people's streams? Well I don't know, like once or twice a week. Okay, well that you know. Maybe hang out in people's, maybe take a day off of streaming and hang out in someone's channel, you know, get to know their viewers, get to know their regulars. You know, and what happens is you're going to run into people and you're going to build this. Twitch is big, but it's small at the same time. Like, you're going to find people, everyone's going to be interconnected. One of my regulars was actually somebody that I met through, like, 3 different people away from that person. You know what I mean? And I would have never found them if I hadn't gone stream. So just the main thing is just like focus on trying to make connections with people. Like I think that's the takeaway, you know, from to build on what Dino was saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but
oh, you're good. No, I agree 100% with you. And like Sari said, be the viewer you want to have in your stream. And networking is so as you said before, having that schedule locked down. If you go to YouTube and you look up, you know, top 10 tips for streaming confined, please do not do that. Not tonight. But if you go to YouTube and you type in top 10 tips for streaming, number 1 is most likely going to be having a schedule that you stick to. And having it in plain view on your panels for everybody to see so that there's no question about when you stream. But like Sari said, you know, be the viewer that you want to have and make sure when you go to other people's streams that you are interacting with the streams and that you are making yourself known, that you're asking questions. You're providing the conversations that you are hoping to get back in your channel one day.
Also, too, another thing too that you can kind of do is that like one of the things that I like to do is you know there's nothing wrong with so this is gonna sound really bad. There's nothing wrong with supporting people who are beneath you, but sometimes you have if your idea and your mindset is growth, sometimes you have to support the people that are above you because what happens is like, and I don't mean like you want to go like one level up from where you are. So let's say you're an Apex streamer and you're getting around 10 to 15 viewers on it, right? You know what? Find a streamer that's got 30 or 40 viewers. That's, you know, it's not too much of a jump up from where you are. Exactly. You have to, like Shank said, you have to swing up, down, and lateral. Yeah, so you want to go both because you want to show the people that are not necessarily support for support because that's like it's impossible. Like once you get past a certain point of growth, you can't support every single person that supports you. It's impossible. You're going to burn yourself out. But you can show those key people that show you a lot of support that are below you and above you, because like, you know, perfect example, last night I got a raid from BB Games, right? BB Games is Squillakilla's girlfriend. But Squilla's a huge Dark Souls streamer, and if I didn't know Squilla and I didn't talk to her in his chat, she would have never found out about me. She rated me with 30 plus viewers last night. So it's those kind of connections that you make, and you wanna try to be find somebody in the game that you're playing, and you know what? And if you don't have any of your friends that are on, look in the channel directly and find somebody to rate at the end of your stream. And also to make sure you're rating at the end of every single one of your streams, even if you're rating with 2 people, like people are gonna remember that you rated them. Like always make sure you rate.
Yeah, and I have a firm belief that you should watch streams from people who have made Twitch their full-time job, just to get their perspective on streaming, but then find somebody in your directory that is sitting at, like, if for example, if I'm sitting at 10 viewers on average, find somebody in the 100 range and make sure that you're going to their community, you're interacting. Now, this is not to say go in there and say, hi, I'm a streamer, I stream the same thing as you, what do you think, I stream these days. Like, don't do that. You will get banned in no time flat. But like going in and just talking to the streamer about what they're like. I'm a Division 2 streamer. What's your loadout? What's your favorite specialization? There's just providing this back and forth. Having that conversation will make that streamer, when they're going to raid, say, hey, this guy's been in my channel quite a few times now, and he's always really fun to watch. Why don't we go drop a raid in his channel? But then also make sure you're interacting with streamers that are right around the same level as you, because those are a lot of times the ones who will send you the raids, and you can return the favor back and forth. And as one grows, generally you both see the growth, because those same people they're sending over to you find your channel and enjoy your channel, and they start bouncing off of each other. And then every once in a while, find somebody who's just starting out with streaming and send them a raid occasionally. It'll make their night if you send them even 10 people, and they usually sit at 1 or 2.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and that's and it's a difficult. I mean, it's a lot of things to juggle. But I mean, the thing is that, like, at the end of the day, if you're not growing, unfortunately, it's something something you're doing. It's something you're doing, and it's tough. It's tough that you have to have that introspection. You have to be willing to look at yourself and being like, okay, what could I be doing differently? What could I be doing better? Is it the game I'm playing? Is it is it my schedule? Is it maybe my chat interaction sucks? Like make sure and that's another thing too. Make sure you're rewatching your VODs too. A lot of people don't watch their own VODs, and it's like if you can't stand to watch yourself stream, how do you expect somebody else to watch you? If you don't find so you have to ask yourself this question: watch your stream, and if you're like, would I pay money? Would me personally pay money to watch this? And if your answer is no, then you've got your work cut out for you. You need to figure out what it is that you would pay for. That's and then make the content that you yourself would watch. Yeah, and if that makes sense. And so you have to have that introspection. And sometimes it's a tough look. Sometimes it's like, wow, yeah, I was off tonight, man. You know what, man? Like, my chat interaction sucked, or oh shit, I missed that guy's question. I didn't see it, and then he's a brand new viewer, and he left the chat after I didn't answer him. Things like that. Like, those are the kind of things you have to look into, and you have to figure it out. What it is you're doing, not necessarily wrong, but you could be doing better or different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing. Watch your VODs. If you don't, you are missing out, because watching your VOD will give you a different perspective after everything is said and done, and you can always look and adjust and make sure that if you did miss somebody, that hell, go back and send them a whisper and say, hey, I really apologize, I didn't see you come in, I really appreciated that, thank you so much, sorry I missed you, next time you stop by, I'll be sure to give you a shout out, anything like that, to make them feel appreciated. Just because you missed it doesn't mean that the opportunity is gone to get that person in as a viewer.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And that's one of the things that and like, I've had people tell me, No Hit Jerome's told me, he was like, yeah, dude, like your marketing's on point, because I make it a point to message every single new follow I get. I make sure I message them. I say, hey, thanks for the follow. Hope to see you again. And that way, and a lot of times, like people will come back. Like the bare minimum, what's the worst it can do? The guy's gonna tell you to fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's nothing bad's gonna happen. So it's just like, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, is you have to try to make the most of these interactions you're getting with people. If like I said, if your idea is growth and you want to grow your channel and continue to move up the ranks, so to speak.
So I got GB Forever saying that he just wanted to add that too many green swords in a channel can be a turnoff to some. And I feel like if you have an excessive number of mods, that people might think that you just throw the mod status out to anybody. I'm not gonna lie, when I started modding people at the beginning, I was modding my good real life friends who were in there, and stuff like that, and I've had a pretty decent mod drop off in my channel, where to the point where I actually need to start going in and looking and seeing who I can now add as mods and remove as mods, to make a better balance and have better, because mods should be your greeters right after you in a channel. If you are late greeting somebody, hopefully your mod is greeting that person for you already and making them feel at home. And just getting the interaction in chat going and getting the conversation going. You can talk as much as you want, but a lot of times there's a cutoff point in your stream where your channel just goes kind of dead. And it might be because people went and played games. I'm not saying that you lose viewership. Your chat just goes kind of on the dead side. And maybe, something came up, maybe they're eating dinner, maybe they're playing a game, whatever it is, and that's totally fine. Lurkers make up, the majority of a person's channel. But having your mods there and greeting those people and engaging in conversation will be a much more memorable experience for that person, especially if the streamer is interacting as well with everybody, of course. But it's better than coming in saying hi, having a few lines of dialogue with the streamer, and then the streamer asks you a question. He got off into a battle and had to concentrate on the battle for a second, comes back, asks the person a question, and that person is no longer in their stream. Your mods should always be people who are very interactive in your channel and are very reliable.
For sure. Also, too, I mean, at the end of the day, you're like, let them do, like, so you have to get a feel, and like, I'm kind of a fan of, if somebody wants to do something, let them do it. When it comes to a moderator, and what I mean by that is that if you have, like, so for instance, I've got a couple awesome moderators. Dairy Queen's one of them. He's lurking. He's here, but like, Master Miyazaki has, like, he writes command. I mean, he's moderated on my channel and on my chat bot. I mean, he's written commands in my chat bot. He shouts out people without asking. You know what I mean? Like, he'll suggest games to play. He'll change my game titles. He'll change my title. You know what I mean? And now, like, he's a fucking super mod. You know, not every moderator is going to be like that. But if you have somebody who's showing that initiative, you have somebody who wants to be that engaged in their channel, let them,
Yes.
because that's somebody who is very, very invested in you and very invested in your growth, and they're only going to help you. Like, people are like amazed at some of the stuff that my moderators do, and it's honestly I let them do it if they want to do it. I mean, obviously within reason.
Absolutely.
You know, but it's and it's one of the things. And go back to having too many moderators. I think if you're north of like 10 mods like total on your channel, you know, with the streamers our size, like you might want to look at cutting some down. I have about, actually I can tell, I think I have 10 mods. Because the thing is that people have lives. You know, sometimes people that don't show up. Sometimes, you know, there's certain moderators that are there every night. Sometimes they can't be there.
Exactly.
Let me see here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11. Well, if you don't count bots and things like that, I have 11 moderators. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like it's like you want to have people like Nothing Shank says, you don't want intrusive. And that's something too. You want to make sure your moderators aren't going on a power trip. You know what I mean? Because like, sometimes that can be a huge turnoff. You know, like I had one of my streamers that I like watching. One of his moderators was like off on a power trip, and you know, he had in his title he had no spoilers, and he asked a question. He asked a specific question about the game, and I answered the question, and then the guy timed me out. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, he's like, well, you know, did he find this on his own? Well, dude, he asked a question.
Right.
You know, and it pissed me off so much. I left the channel. I was like, fuck this, man. I don't want to deal with this asshole. You know what I mean? And and you want to make sure that your moderators are, I guess, you know, enforcing what you want enforced. You know, like you know, you want to make sure that they're not kind of going on a power trip and, you know, and making your viewers feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, viewers are also just you know, you have your regulars that come into your channel, and they are absolutely amazing for any channel to have those regulars who do come back, you know, day in, day out, every time you're streaming, whether they're lurking or they're active, you know, and of course the more active viewers you have, the more viewers you retain that come in and stop by. Because I mean, that's why once you reach that partner level and you're consistently getting those large numbers of viewers, and you do have that really active chat, that's why it's potentially a lot easier to grow than it is when you're first starting out, because you have so many different avenues to engage that viewer now than just yourself. You still want to engage those viewers, but you have so many more tools at your disposal to do it.
No, agreed.
Any other questions, chat? Hey Jedi, how's it going? And again, chat, this can be about anything.
Streaming, whatever you guys want to ask. Life choices.
Yeah, so I did a 24-hour stream several weeks ago, and I had somebody stop in and go, man, your lighting is really awful. What are you using? I'm like, I'm using just regular lamps. I don't have... Like, I haven't bought streaming lights or anything like that yet. And they're like, well, are you using LED bulbs? No, I'm using regular light bulbs. Oh, well, you need to go and spend $6 on some LED lights and put that into the lamps, and you will have so much better lighting. Did that? Sure enough. My green screen works out perfectly now, and I don't fade away into it. I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I had been missing that for so long. I got one. Oh, go ahead. So I got one. What's the best moment you've had in a stream?
Man, that's tough. No, we're doing doing a streamer question and answer. So it was sort of as an interview for about charities and stuff, and now we're kind of just taking Q&A about streaming, about best practices, stuff like that. So somebody, yeah, we're I'm sharing here. I'll link the guy that I'm talking to, Diabetic Dino. That's his Twitch. We're some of his chat is asking questions, and my chat's asking questions as well. The best moment I've had in a stream, like the best individual moment, or like moments, or that's a really tough question to answer. What can you specify, or maybe elaborate? Go hybrid. Something like that, Sophie. Yeah, it's basically open about anything. Oh, the day you finally made it. Oh wait, I'm misreading chat. I'm like reading two chats at once. Whoa. Maybe most memorable or most feel good. Most memorable was when I hit 200 subscriptions. That was pretty insane. And then it was literally I went 100 subscriptions and then 200 subscriptions, and it was like mind blowing because I had the 100 subs was like my goal for like the longest time. I just couldn't. I'd get really close, but then I'd have a couple subs fall off, or I'd have some gifted subs fall off, and I couldn't seem to get past it. And then it was like a rocket. I hit 100, and then I think 3 or 4 weeks later I hit 200. It was like it was crazy, and that for me was like, okay, like maybe I can do this full time. Maybe I can actually make a living out of this, So. And then in some of these big gifted sub bombs, I've got from Dairy Queen. I'm also like having like a very recently. I had a very big streamer not only come into my stream, he gifted some subs and followed, which is Quiddy23. If you guys know him, he's another dark. He's a partner, and he's very well known in the Souls community. So the fact not only was he in my stream, but he gifted subs and then followed me as well. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean the large raids coming in from partnered streamers is always mind-blowing. Getting the 150 170 viewers just bam in your lap, and it's overwhelming at first, and then everything that you have been working on with your streaming suddenly kicks in, and you're like, all right, let's do this. All right, how's it going, everybody? Let's make sure we greet everybody that's here. Make sure you hit your asking, to hit the follow button. All of that stuff. Everything that you have to tick off of your little list and everything. But I think the most memorable stream I had was the first community stream we did, and for anyone who's not familiar, my community stream is every once in a while I will get a lot of beer, and I will begin to drink said beer at the beginning of my stream. And whenever I do stupid stuff, if I die, if certain things happen, I start drinking. And for the record, you have to be very careful with throwing drinking into your streams. Do not ever take shots for subs, bits, donations. Don't take drinks for that stuff, because that can and will get you banned. Whereas if you are just drinking to drink in your stream, as long as you don't get to the point where you pass out or are throwing up, you are perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine by Twitch. I even, before that stream, I had messaged Twitch because I started getting paranoid, and I was like, okay, this is what I have planned. Am I going to get in trouble? they couldn't give me a straight yes or no answer, but that was the basics. Is as long as you're not doing it for income or doing it to a point where you're harming yourself or others, it's perfectly fine. So I
if you
started.
Want to get technical, Dino, if you want to start, and if you want to get technical, you're not supposed to drink at all. But they're kind of lax on it. They're not gonna, like you said, unless you're fall down drunk, they're not gonna really enforce it. I've only seen somebody get banned once, and that was because they were taking shots online. But just for you to know, it's actually once you get your affiliate contract, if you haven't read through it or skimmed through it, it's a good idea because there's actually a lot of things that are illegal and not allowed that people don't know. One of the, like for instance, you're actually not allowed to. I don't know if some people don't know this. You're not allowed to multi-stream to other platforms. So, like if let's say you're like we were doing this right now, and I was streaming this to Facebook as well. That's actually against terms and conditions and can result in a ban. Now,
I think that's once you reach partner.
No. The partners have some leeway with that. They have some there's some partners that. So the thing is too is that not every partnership agreement is the same. Affiliate agreements are blanket for the most part, but
right.
The partners get a lot of special privileges. So sometimes you'll see a partner that'll be streaming to like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the same time. That's because they have a special agreement. But for an affiliate, it actually is against terms and conditions. Just, one of those weird things that people may not think that's an issue, and it is.
Right. And see, I have gone through the contract and everything, especially when I first became affiliate. I browsed that thing like no other. And that's why, because I didn't think that you were allowed to, and that's why I specifically reached out to Twitch support. Like, I reached out to Twitch and asked them that exact question. And I asked them, is it okay to drink on stream? And they said, yes, it is. It's fine to drink on stream as long as you aren't doing it to an excessive amount and you aren't, lying on your face, drunk, passed out at the table. Okay. You are fine.
They might have changed it too, because they have gotten so. Twitch is, obviously it's a living, breathing entity, so things change. So one of the things that I don't know how long most of chat has been around for. But they're at one point, mental health streaming was actually not allowed. Like if you, I don't know if you guys know Nate Hunzi. He changed his name recently. I think he changed it to Dr. Willy Wonka or something. But anyways, that's kind of like the motif for his channel was mental health and stuff like that. And he was doing this, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago before Twitch kind of got on the mental health gig and the kick, and he actually got banned for it. He was very close to partnership, and they banned his channel. So they do periodically change things and adapt and stuff like that. So if you heard that directly from Twitch support, that's good. That could be something they changed recently, or who knows. But if they told you that, then that's fun. Because I drink all the time on.
Right, and I mean that, I don't know if the person I was talking to knows the terms like front and back and was telling me correctly also, because they're human beings as well, and I'm sure they've read the terms of service, but they might interpret something differently than the high ups do or the mods do or whatever. So always be cautious with anything you do on Twitch, and always make sure if you think there might be a problem with it, always make sure to give yourself about a month to ask support, because it will take about 3 weeks to hear back from them.
If you even hear back from them.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, no, the community stream was great, and I got very drunk thanks to Mrs. Dino coming down and starting to feed me vodka shots when I started doing stuff. And I was not like fall down drunk or anything like that, but I was definitely feeling it, and I knew my stream knew that I was extremely drunk because I had the Magic 8 Ball, and I had that setting to for drinks and stuff, including to drink water to keep myself hydrated. Well, I was really bad about getting the water rolls, and I constantly got the alcohol rolls, and it was to the point where chat was just like, no, let's not roll it anymore, let's just go ahead and drink some water, you definitely need some water. And like watching the VOD the next day, I was just like, oh my god, I can't. Thank God for chat, and thank God for Mrs. Dino reading that and giving me water and some food to make sure that it soaked up the